And we are back in the new, oh, so lovely life of Jericho. This man has a poor habit of going through it. Needless to say, and needless to say, the man's had his struggles in and of itself. Hopefully he grows a little better about dealing with his problems, but so far he has not been having that much luck. Lightning storm after lightning storm, toilet fire after toilet fire. The man's been practicing his writing skills to keep up money. Insultingly, skill day showed up. One of the hardest days for him to actually gain skills in. But hey, who knows? Maybe we can pull it off, maybe not. Most likely not, considering most of his skills are fairly high and you have to plan for that. The waifu of the naifu shows up, introduces, and then disappears. I swear everyone bounces on him these days. I don't remember quite all that's happening on this problem solver of a day, but needless to say, every other problem comes up. Writing plenty of books to keep himself sustained off of it. Always, I believe this is the kind of day where he gets through it and then finds out he needs to use more systems or not. I love the name Werewolf Journals as a default book name. Ignorably, I'm reminded again that he is very skillful at writing this on. Not much he can do in the dead of night, because midnight's here. Hey, wait a second. That man just broke my thing. This is what I get for leaving things in. I was wondering why that broke so often. There's other people breaking my things. Well, gotta go fix that. And then use his legendary throne for itself. Explains so much on why these things break. Next morning, paparazzis, of course, come visiting onto him, as is always. I did at one point contemplate taking off to the beach and actually going exploring and letting him swim, but unfortunately his fear of water is more than second nature to him at this point. Could cure it by simply having him actually swim, but Decisively, I decide I want to take a trip around the place to see where I can go. And I get to find out we're definitely in an island. Jokingly, I grab a whole bunch of people because it's always funny to see who will and won't show up when you travel. Smooth future proofing. There's nowhere to travel. Like, this is definitely an island. He does spend most of his time standing out paparazziing again. Seemingly he loves the paparazzi. Looking around the island, I definitely for sure realize most of it is worthless dead space I can't actually go to. Or I don't feel like going to. It is confusing that there's this child living in a house with a ghost mother though. Don't know exactly how that happened or why. There's also a house just having a ghost in it. I assume that there's some kind of like problem solver. And Jericho's family of children that all live in the area. He's got so many kids anymore. One of these days I'll go look at his family tree and just see this big long tree worth of people. Noticing finally that there's not really anywhere else to go besides the bar. It's not really worth staying on the island anymore. New plan. We're gonna have to move. At least move somewhere that has a little more people. Or move to go meet new people. So the plan is move it out. First, I only check two places. I want to see either if the city is worth moving into, or if there's another place that catches my eyes immediately. Poking around is the biggest feature. I finally decide to move into over here, and there is a lovely manor set up that I do purchase, which turns out to be quite much bigger. It also depresses me to find out how little stuff I have. So, nice $200,000 sink into my money, and off we go. None of the other places really got me enthused on them. I guess we could have moved them in apartments and see what goes, but rich people manor is what we call it. Now, I gotta go stuff all my stuff back in here, which turns out there's a lot less stuff in my pockets than anything else. First thing he does is go to the stupidly big TV by his default desires. Oh, right, and another harassment over cheating on people that I have no one to cheat with. Don't know who he's trying to describe or why, but I swear they keep lying about that every time. Doing a nice wellness check on the garden, even though I did that fairly recently, so I don't know why I keep checking, but you never know with gardens. And looky, who came to visit? Of course she did. Fundamentally, she shows up just about everywhere I go. She lives on an island for and she immediately walks in without even remotely looking for any other. Of course, to help with her request, we see if we can get her to join into the group of people that we have. And he amazingly, of course, gets rejected. I swear they always tell you, oh, I already have their own home. Well, yeah, but I want you to join mine. Join my household. I need people to hang out with. He even does it in a flirty mood to sell it to her, and she still tells him no. So, we do as Jericho loves to do, and prepare to leave him. I will give him a little bit of privacy while that's happening. Just a little bit. Explore the manor a little more. Turns out it has 3 floors, third floor being worthless, second floor being remote eats. We added a whole listing of new wind power to it. Eventually we'll have to install some lightning rods just because it feels the least secure. Of course, he adopts a baby and invites me over. Nope, no visiting today. We got people to join the household, so we're gonna fight a whole bunch and see who we can find. She heads home, I guess, fairly depressed, I'm assuming because we moved around. And I get free money. No strings attached, and I love it. Nice solid 2,500, which is really pennies on the dollar considering how much money he makes as is, but money's money, I guess. Especially when there's no tied reasoning to it. Maid shows up and does like nothing. So, we finally decided to start painting the mural right outside of the house, because why not add to it? And it's good press with his paparazzi friend. She spends a lot of time afterwards to just sit there and take pictures of him. For several hours of him just painting over and over. I believe this ends up being like a big pinkish flowery thing if I remember correctly, but it stays white for a long time. It takes like a day and a half to even get it completed because of how big these stupid pictures are. Of course, she abandons me on the household painting process because all they came over was to visit my house, which is sad because you'd think Leah would have showed up. But that bitch didn't want to do anything really. At first, I was confused on why he was painting a big white square so weirdly. But who knows? Now, to show off his new home, he brings in his harem again. Because who doesn't love having friends over to invite? And hopefully people to live in the house. Going through his long line of succession of people he hangs out with and people he's talked to, I'm sure it'll go really well in his part to get anyone to move in. Who owns a big mansion and doesn't want people to hang out with? Noticeably, it's getting harder to tell the difference between all the kids and who, what, and where, but they're all named after his original wife, so... And named after Leah, so they don't help him figure out who what. I love the big white square. Does nothing for it. This paparazzi's got too much free time to be hanging around, though. Although I don't know why red and yellow of all things on a blank canvas is still not making any color, so whatever. Not my charge. Not my MO to be in charge of. And you can kind of start seeing the squiggles, but even then. And then he has to start really need to use the restroom, so he gets to be canceled out, call his friends over. Because why let him keep suffering like this? He's already an artist. It looks mostly like he started graffitiing and then he got slowly. I believe it was supposed to be like a nature mural, but whatever. Getting job offers is like crazy amounts of time for him too. Too many. Too many job offers. And a successful gang. His failed attempts at joining people in. So, a little bit of convincing gets him to join in. Adding to his whole collection of people living in the house, because awful to have one person doing nothing. Of course, half of them are probably unskilled in everything, because that seems to be a constant around here, but I'm not in charge of skill training. And we moved the painting thing. Easel. Do somewhere a little more appropriate, be able to get some more creative flow. Mostly because there's a big window. Sadly, as big as the house is, it just reminds me how small the house I lived in before was. Whereas most of the things I had fit in like barely a room worth of space here. And to celebrate, we take a nice picture of the house itself. Good old kitchen picture. A nice looking kitchen to say the least. Nice. Thankfully, I fixed up that to not break as often. Not so much in the oven part. Scary that all these Sims can just chill out. They keep standing out there, and I was confused for the longest time why they kept standing out the front door. And I finally took forever to figure out. Because my fancy Sim spotlight was sitting out there. Apparently there's someone working out, but I don't really know why. But he finishes his painting up. I believe it's only excellent, so it's pawned off because why not? Free money. And to give attention to some of the people he hangs around. Totally forgetting and negating that, you know, they all entertain each other. He gets a nice, lovely attraction from the people around him, finding out not the greatest. But satisfies with these. In his embarrassment, I send him out to go back to painting because might as well finish the mural. Now, you find finally seeing a bunch of props up because nobody's skilled in anything. So, like, everyone's picking up skills as they do stuff. Noticeably, it starts to finally clear out to being a tree look. But then it weirdly turns bright red for some unforeseeable reason. Standing out in the rain, embarrassed, painting, which I don't think would be a great idea to paint in the rain, but I'm not the one to worry about it. I am the one in charge, though, so I'm not gonna feel bad. It's actually a fairly nice painting because it's nice, bright red. Like, good lords, they just keep picking up skills every time I run around. I don't know if any of them have jobs is the big thing, but better out embarrassed in the rain painting fake mural than having to figure out who's in charge of what and who's going to be the top dog. And of course, the paparazzi still seems to manage to show up. Finally finishing the mural up, we head in to go get a meal, which this pain in my ass decided she wanted to break the oven. It's an expensive oven to be breaking, but she breaks it nonetheless, which I guess is free. Baking up a nice solid meal of everything bagels, because eventually I will be skillful enough in all cooking. Baking being the hardest, because if you eat too much bakery stuff, you get punished for it. Wonder how exactly the fire in that stays so easily lit up and not put out. Because most of it seems to contain itself. Talk about fire hazards. Admiring my new TV, I wonder how well it would be make it do other things, but I don't usually watch TV, so who cares? Surprisingly, the stove still works to be able to bake. Don't know why it has to be on fire while it happens, but lever, I guess. Needless to say, we got a big old table, and he can't seem to manage to want to use it. He doesn't even turn the TV on. At least watch TV with your TV. Noticing more and more onto why and who. I can't figure it out for the longest time, but I do figure out it is that stupid thing. Going for his epic workout. Not just a heavy one, epic one. He, for some reason, never went to use the restroom at some point. I have no idea why. He's been in control for way more time. Of course, we still get our calls from Santa. I don't know why he's such an accessible person. Oh, I need to buy a fireplace so next year's Christmas I can actually use it. Thanks, Santa. You do remind me of things. Admittedly, I don't know why this place had like 5 bathrooms originally, but I'm gonna start cutting those down into other rooms. Sending him off to the bathroom was a smart idea. Unfortunately, work came in advance before he got to that point. And he wouldn't stop talking. Boy, the man just loves his talking. But I cancel it out, and instead of heading to anything else, he's immediately gone off to work. And someone has to call and ask me to entertain them right as work actually starts. He works 2 days a week. You can work a schedule around that. It's not like he works every day. I swear, everyone has to attract his attention on that one. And not managing to actually go to the bathroom, he disappeared to work. Now, I realized we need beds. There's not enough space in this place with beds for everyone to sleep. So I start up on building my mini dorm. Measuring at least a little bit to hopefully get it in some level of equalness. But we get built a mini dorm that I will figure out and work into a better looking dorm later. But by the time I had to work. The hardest part is finding that wallpaper. Wallpaper fitting is probably the most hard part is. But it's some weird brick tiling and dark colors. I mean, I at least installed the roof and everything onto it, which the roof is really big. Like a whole attic worth of space. I did finally find it, or at least something close enough I wouldn't notice. Give him a nice 6-room explanation, tiniest rooms possible. Eventually I'll add more stuff. Now, the involvement comes for all these people, considering it barely made it to halfway through the day. They do spend a lot of time. Like, I don't know what is with everyone spending all this time admiring his damn plate on the ground. But I guess it at least gives them all common sense to go and deal with. Oh, and it's someone's birthday soon. Whew! I will not remember that later, but hopefully. Arriving home, he immediately heads inside to go take, I believe, a bath. Right, he chooses randomly every time he wants to use one. And there's this weird unicorn sword, which I have no idea why. But it's there, it was funny to see, and now you know it's there too. But overall, in the end, I will see you later on that part. And I will be, as usual, streaming my regular time tonight. So if you do manage to make it here, why not join? Always an interesting going on. Every night, same time of night. Always a fun thing to see. But for now, bye-bye!